We are ready and set for an amazing battle to the beginning of the chase for Season 6 of the Pepsi Cup Series. But first, these drivers have to conquer this 2.5 mile long super speedway here. It is Daytona, Season 6, Race 16. 2 races remain until the playoffs begin. And so much is on the line for a select few drivers here. Let's take a look at tonight's ones to watch. Josh Berry is our first one to watch. He starts from pole. That Ford car was very fast in qualifying. Ford seems to have a lot of speed here tonight at Daytona. Matt DiBenedetto came so close to winning the Daytona 500 earlier this year, but was crashed from the lead on the last lap. Chase Elliott behind him has led a lap on the last 11 superspeedway races. He has not won in that stretch. That goes all the way back to the Season 3 Talladega race. Jenson Button was another driver who also crashed on the last lap of the Daytona 500. A scary catch fence crash entering turn 3 for him. He returns to this track here tonight, hoping for more. And Josh Bilicki is the defending 500 winner. Can he go out here and defend that win with another win here in Daytona? He definitely needs the points to make the chase. As the field gets ready to roll off for 10 laps here tonight, let's take a look at the starting lineup. As previously mentioned, Josh Berry is on pole position alongside Ryan Blaney. Row 2 is Noah Gragson and Brad Keselowski. In row 3, we have William Byron alongside Denny Hamlin. And in row 4, it's Bubba Wallace alongside Matt DiBenedetto. In row 5, we have Chase Elliott and Daniel Suarez. Row 6, Joey Logano and Eric Jones. Behind them in row number 7, we have Kyle Larson alongside Carson Hocevar, the rookie. Harrison Burton is alongside Ross Chastain in row number 8. Rounding out your top 20, we have Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Sammy Smith, and John Hunter Nemechek. 21st is Martin Truex Jr., 22nd is Todd Gilliland. Ryan Preece and Kevin Harvick make up row number 12. Row 13 is Michael McDowell and Justin Haley. Row 14 is Austin Dillon and Christopher Bell. In row 15, we have Kaz Gralla and Jenson Button. And in row 16, we have Chris Buescher and Josh Bilicki. Behind them, we have Ty Gibbs and Austin Hill with Tyler Reddick starting alongside Chandler Smith this evening. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is alongside Shane Van Gisbergen, and Chase Briscoe lines up alongside 15 of Riley Herbst to round out tonight's field. 10 laps are up ahead of us. Watch that cut line battle and expect a lot of chaos here at Daytona. Now let's take a look at that cut line. It is close. Carson Hocevar, Shane Van Gisbergen, Joey Logano barely in. Chris Buescher after a second place finish, now just 7 points out after that Pocono race last time out 2 weeks ago. That 17 cars look strong in recent weeks and has definitely made inroads on that cut line, but still some work to do. You never know what's going to happen here at Daytona, but we are about to find out. The green flag is waving. We're racing here in Daytona. Josh Berry in the 4 car gets the push on that inside line into the lead. He's got help from Noah Gragson and William Byron, the Hendrick teammates behind him. Gragson, our most recent full-size superspeedway winner, not including Atlanta. He won that amazing Talladega race that was scored as a tie with Ross Chastain. Gragson has not really been up front since, but he's going to go for the lead on the outside with help from Byron. Noah Gragson takes the lead at Daytona, coming around to complete lap number 2. Now Byron jumps down to the inside. He's going to make a move for the lead, and now sideways goes Noah Gragson, and he collects Byron. They're hard in the wall. More cars spinning in the back. Matt DiBenedetto's around. Kyle Larson and Joey Logano all involved in the first caution of the evening. A hard crash for some of the leaders, and 2 of the Hendrick cars are out of the race, with 3 already involved in a wreck by the time we get to the start of lap 3. Wow. Those 3 who went spinning through the infield are all going to be able to continue as you see them all there. Here's a look at what happened. I don't even know if that 48 got a push. We saw at the end of lap 1, I didn't mention it, but the 48 got really sideways out of turn 4, and it looked like it just snapped there. Whether there was contact or not, I don't know, but Gregson's car was definitely ill handling compared to at least where he wanted it, and it looks like that caused that accident, and then everyone else was trying to avoid. Piled in, but we're ready to go back racing here in Daytona. It's Barry up front with Ryan Blaney alongside of him. For those drivers who are outside of playoff contention right now, we are only 2 laps away from that halfway bonus being awarded. That's going to be really big here in a moment to get those points, and Josh Berry is one of those drivers who needs those points because he could potentially face complete elimination with no win and you're in, and a bit of contact between him and Blaney there through the tri-oval. 3 wide, Denny Hamlin on the outside getting help from Harrison Burton. They're going to charge to the front here for a little bit, and they are dead even with the 4 of Josh Berry getting a push from Bubba Wallace to the line. Who's going to take the halfway bonus? It's going to be Berry at the line over Hamlin, Wallace, Burton, and Nemechek. Denny Hamlin barely in front on the outside, but he gets turned, and there's another wreck. Daniel Suarez slams the inside wall. Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain's in it. A lot of cars. John Hunter Nemechek was in it. Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Burton and Hamlin up against the outside wall. The big one happens at Daytona here on lap number 6, and it takes out a lot of front runners. Denny went up to that outside line with Burton. They made some incredible moves to get to the front, but it all comes to an end here with what looked like, at first glance, a bad push from the 21 of Harrison Burton down that back straightaway. Gregson and Johnson, or Chastain and Johnson, my bad, continue on. They will get some fresh tires and be back out there. There's a look at what happened. It did look like just a bad push at the wrong time there to Denny Hamlin, and it just turned him into the outside wall. Man, so many cars taken out. That's just a product of super speedway racing. Thankfully, it wasn't any bigger than it was, because there were a lot more cars in that lead pack right behind these guys, 3 wide, pretty much all throughout, who didn't get caught up in this. But we're getting ready to restart this race once again. Barry and Wallace up front, and we are racing again, and they're dead even heading down through 1 and 2. Elliott and Sammy Smith behind them. Gotta look out for them. And Eric Jones is in the top 5. While Martin Truex Jr. with a chance to win on a super speedway. Don't hear that every day. Coming to the line. 2 laps to go. Wallace is sideways and they're spinning again. The 43 of Eric Jones through the infield. Caution comes out again. And this will send us to overtime. Incredible saves by the 23 and the 18, but Eric Jones just didn't have enough to hang on to that car. He got door slammed by Martin Truex Jr., who also made an incredible save. Somehow, some way, Truex avoided that being a lot bigger too, because, I mean, if that 43 car wasn't there, that 19's going around in front of the pack, and that could be a lot worse. Chase Elliott will restart this race from 3rd position. We've documented his struggles. He also hasn't won in well over a season. It's been a season and 12 races since his last win. Can he do so here tonight at the type of track he's been so dominant at? We're about to find out, but Josh Berry has been the car to beat tonight. He leads them back to the green here in Daytona. Great push on the inside. Berry's clear. He leads the way with just 2 laps to go. If they make it to the white flag, the race is official off of turn 4. Now Bubba Wallace is into the wall. 1 car up and over. It's Carson Hocevar into the catch fence. Harvick's involved. Button's involved. A whole bunch of cars involved in what is surely the big one. And the 7 car is up in flames. Massive crashes. Hocevar's out of the car. They need to get to him quick because it looks like he's on fire there. The front end of that car has just been completely torn apart. I see just in the upper right-hand corner, now the upper left, Todd Gilliland's in it, Bell, Preece, there's Smith, there's Haley, so many cars. Kyle Larson's in it. He's out of this one. Someone else is behind him. I think that's Shane Van Gisbergen in the 91, also out of this race. Yes, it is. Riley Herbst in the 15 caught up. Wow. Massive, massive wreck there. Hocevar did walk to the ambulance under his own power after literally climbing out of that car in a fireball. As the cleanup continues here at Daytona, obviously, red flag is out for this accident. Harvick getting towed away. He's making, I believe, his third start of the season after Sonoma and Atlanta. Chase Elliott, we've already mentioned, he's led a lap in the last 11 superspeedway races dating all the way back to season 3. He hasn't won in that time frame. Sammy Smith, a little bit further back, looking for his first career top 5. He has 4 top 10s as of this point in his career, but never has he finished in the top 5. He runs there right now in P4. It would be great to see him get a great result here tonight. Josh Berry has led the most laps so far tonight, most laps led in his career in a race. He's never won. Can the rookie storm his way to victory lane? There's a real chance he can tonight, but he has some tough competition behind, and Josh Bilicki has managed to avoid all the mess like he did earlier in the year at Daytona to win the 500. Can we see him go back-to-back here at Daytona and sweep the season? I guess we'll find out when we do get back going, but here's a look at the replay and the hard tumble for Carson Hocevar. Over and over, just got hit hard and pretty much just weight shifted and did something very reminiscent of Ricky Craven at Talladega in 96, tumbling his way up into the catch fencing, the outside of the track. Bubba Wallace caught up and out of this race. Unfortunate for him, and that was just a bad move by Chase Elliott right there. Sammy Smith, too. We have to talk about him. He barely got through that wreck. I think he was involved in it, to be honest. That car got clipped right there, and I don't know how he hung on. But we're going to have a restart here in overtime. Second overtime coming up from Daytona International Speedway. Who is going to come out on top? Josh Berry and Chase Elliott, your front row. If we make it to the white flag, the race is official, so that's the goal. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air at Daytona. Good push from that outside line, but Berry fights back with help from Martin Truex as they head to the back straightaway. Elliott now with the advantage, and Martin Truex slams the inside wall, and the caution is back out. Hard crash. Another hard impact here tonight at Daytona. We've been seeing lots of those, unfortunately. And it's going to put an end to the 19's night in his final season here in Pepsi Cup Series competition. Looked like he was getting pushed from Matt DiBenedetto, and there's nothing you can really do there. They're all accordioning up right there. There's so much going on. The pushing is as tight as it's going to be all night, and as tight as it possibly can be. This is just a result of super speedway racing, really. And Truex just couldn't hang on. Must have gotten hit just in the wrong part of the bumper, or maybe just a bit too hard. But we're going to have a restart now. Third overtime coming up here from Daytona International Speedway. It's Elliott and Berry on the front row. Swap positions this time. Green flag back in the air. Elliott with the advantage, much like on the last restart. This time he gets clear in front of Josh Berry as they head to the back straightaway, and now Berry goes around. DiBenedetto's on top of him. Several cars involved. Bilicki, McDowell. And the caution comes out again here in Daytona, the 6th one of the night. And this is going to send us to a 4th overtime. we just can't seem to get back to the line. In fact, we're getting further and further away from making it to the white flag, it seems. We made it off of turn 4 on overtime 1. Overtime number 2, we made it to turn 3. This time, it's at the exit of turn 2 where they lose it and 4 cars go hard into the inside wall. Big impact for the 4 car underneath the 2 who got pinched into the wall and squeezed up into the air a little bit. Thank goodness that 2 car didn't go upside down, because there was a possibility it could have turned over, and I think if they went a bit further into that grass before the 2 came off of the hood of the 4, I think he would have possibly dug in. Thankfully that didn't happen though, and Di Benedetto is all right after that accident, but we are getting ready to go back green. Overtime number 4, and we are racing once again, and the 62 does not get going. Austin Hill looks to be out of fuel in the 62 as he's waving it around. He's not going to make it all the way around, and NASCAR has thrown the caution as he comes to a halt in turns 1 and 2. Austin Dillon is also out of fuel in 3 and 4 now, getting help from the AMR safety team. So fuel is becoming an issue. That's one thing we haven't documented, but the fuel window was 16 to 17 laps, and we're at that point now as the field comes on down pit road to top off. Chase Elliott is in the 9 car, Sammy Smith as well. It's just going to be fuel for all these guys, and Kaz Gralla ends up second off of pit road. He'll end up restarting 5th because some of the drivers involved in crashes earlier who had more fuel have stayed out. So Jimmy Johnson will lead Ross Chastain to overtime number 5 here in Daytona, with Eric Jones, who started this whole overtime chain, in 3rd as we're back to green, and it's a great restart for Johnson. Jimmy goes up high, blocks Ross Chastain. Where does Ross go? Ross fakes him out, goes to the outside. Ross Chastain takes the lead. Can we make it to the white flag, or will there be a 6th overtime? Jones is around again in the back. No caution. Last lap. Here comes Chase Elliott to the inside. Elliott leads. Buescher's behind him. Is anybody going to get by? Chris Buescher to the outside. Now he's going to try to back up and develop another run, but it's just not enough. He's going for the move. Chris Buescher not going to get there. Elliott wins, and they wreck across the line yet again.
Let's go, boys, yes! Yeah, that's it, son. You're the man. That's the way to do it. The way to do it. Super proud of you guys. Hell to the yeah.
After so long, Elliott's back in victory lane. Chastain and Reddick were the 2 who ended up wrecked at the checkered flag, with Jones wrecking coming to the white flag. Here's a look at that final lap and the big move and the slight contact there from Chase Elliott that got him the lead and ultimately the win. Buescher tried backing up right there, just couldn't get enough of a run. Tried again right there, couldn't get enough of a run again. I think he was forced into making that move to the outside with Chastain getting such a huge run, and then it looked like just all that wiggling around almost caused that accident for Ross as he tried to stay behind the 17 and push him by, but just couldn't do it. Chase Elliott back to victory lane for the first time in over 20 races. He beats Chris Buescher, Jimmy Johnson, Kaz Gralla, and a wrecking Ross Chastain, who still scores a top 5. Man, that race was insane. We had a caution record tonight. That was 8 cautions there, including the one on the last lap at the start-finish line. We had all sorts of things. Carson Hocevar, thankfully all right after that huge flip, which was just an extreme wreck. We had so many overtimes tonight. Lots of hard pushing and racing. Man, that's going to be one people are going to be talking about for a long time to come, as there you see the back end of the field. SVG, he was on that playoff cut line, and he finishes 30th here tonight, which is not going to help him. But of course, a lot of his fellow competitors also struggled. The big one who did good, Chris Buescher, who is well above the cut line after his second place finish here tonight. Now we're going to take a look at the points. Here's your top 10. This is for the regular season championship, which could prove massive when things come down to it. Chase Elliott takes a 20-point lead over Ross Chastain. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Kyle Larson, Noah Gragson, Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, all of those guys DNF'd, and Chastain was crashing across the line. So only one of the top 10 in points actually made it to the checkered flag here today. Chris Buescher, 12th now in the standings. He came into this race 17th, but a huge points haul, really going to help him out, as he is now plus 71 to the cut line. He was minus 7 coming into this race. Now it's SVG who's minus 7 behind Carson Hocevar, who also lost a lot of points due to that huge crash he had. Joey Logano gains a lot. William Byron is actually right by that cut line. And everyone below Sammy Smith is now eliminated with one race to go and 125 points being the max anyone can earn. Thank you all for watching. Next time out, we will be at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for the cutoff race in the regular season to begin the chase. So long from Daytona, everyone. Have you ever wondered how you could watch every single race of the Pepsi Cup series and have them all at your fingertips? Scroll down to the playlist tabs and then select the season playlist of your choosing and then select the race in which you wish to watch. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and enjoy all of the racing action here on the FireLynx Racing Network.